Hello, Abraham. Can people sense when I'm on the high-flying disc, high-flying plane? And if so, is that a turnoff to some of them? People vary in their sensitivity, but the law of attraction does not vary in sensitivity. The law of attraction understands the vibrational state you're in and the vibrational state that others are in, and always brings that which is a vibrational match together. So, is it a turnoff to some of them? Absolutely. We're going to put something very pointedly to you, because there are a lot of questions that you're sending in that pertain to this. They usually go something like this. I've decided that this person or that person is someone I want to call close to me, and they are not coming. They don't seem to want to come. Abraham, can you help me get them to want to come? It's a general consensus of a whole lot of things that you are sending to us. And our question back to you is, why would you want someone to come to you who doesn't want to come? And if they wanted to come, wouldn't they? Now, don't let that hurt your feelings. It's not because there's something wrong with you. It's that there is a vibrational mismatch. Now, by vibrational mismatch, what do we mean? We mean one of two things. Either what you want and what's in your vortex is not a match to what they will bring when they come. Or, let's go after this again. So, you want something, you think it's that person, and they're not coming. What's going on? One of two things. You want something that they are not. Or you're so aware that something that you want isn't coming that even if they are a match, they can't get in. You have to figure out which it is. And since it is so difficult to figure out which it is, there's an easy way of getting more and more of what you want. Talk about what you want and why you want it. And here's the big one. Don't try to physically orchestrate the outcomes. Now, what that requires is trusting that you have a vibrational reality, trusting that you are more than this physical you, trusting that your emotions are letting you know what you really want by how they feel. It takes some trusting in the law of attraction, and some trusting in your own guidance system, and some trusting in your ability to sense your own guidance system. But really, mostly what it requires is getting it, that when you ask, it is given. You have to understand that you are that loved and that worthy, that when you ask for something, that it is given. We just want you to get the essence of what it is you're asking for. It's not this specific person. It's the way you believe you will feel with this person. It's not this specific university. It's the way you believe you will feel when you're in that university. In other words, when you want something, you usually are launching your rocket of desire of what you want from your awareness of what you do not want. So step one is ask, and it is always answered. We know this sounds redundant. You've heard it so many times. You can speak these words as clearly as we do. We just want you to understand them in a new way here today. When you ask, especially when you are asking from a place of not being a vibrational match to what you're asking for, you're launching rockets of desire. Say that again. Most of what you ask for, most of what you put into your vortex, most of what is in your vortex got there because of your sifting through life and knowing what you did not want. So step one is ask. Now, the point that we're making here is there's a difference between step one and step two and step three, and there's a difference in your responsibility between step one and step two and step three. Your responsibility is to live life and launch rockets of desire, and you can't stop doing that. So that's a responsibility that you're well up to. You're ready, willing, and able to do that. And you're launching those rockets of desire into your vortex, and your vortex is a magnificent compilation of things that you have asked for, and it is even more. Because the law of attraction has gathered the cooperative components to each of the things that you've asked for. And so the law of attraction has caused your vortex to be cooperative, the parts of your vortex to be cooperative one with another. So step one, you've done, you do it without even knowing that you're doing it. Step two is your inner being stands there as a point of attraction. And the law of attraction gathers the cooperative components. And so everything that you're asking for is done in terms of its vibrational essence, which is the beginning of all things. Step one, step two. Done, 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 done. So what is your work? What is step three? What is the work for you to do? Is it to justify how much you want it? That's not the receptive mode. Is it to explain how hard you've worked and how difficult it is? That's not the receptive mode. Is it to complain to your mother or complain to others or to fight against the system? To justify your worthiness over someone else's? That's resistance. That's not allowing. That's not being in the receptive mode. Your singular work is to get into the receptive mode. So what does getting into the receptive mode feel like? What does it feel like when you are in a state of being where you are allowing yourself to be aware that you are receiving ideas and paths and impulses that are leading you to where you want to be? It's the path of fun. It's the path of clarity. It's the path of love. It's the path of appreciation. It's the path of interest, you see. So your work is so much more simple than you let it be, because somehow along your trail of universities and parents and teachers and other physical humans who sought to control you, they've convinced you somehow that you don't get to choose, but they do. Not true. They can't choose for you. And that your work is to satisfy their interest in what you are about. If we can convince you here and now or ever that you can't get this wrong because you were born into a variety of contrast. Variety and contrast are the same thing. You're born into an environment where variety and contrast abound, where you are launching rockets of desire which are immediately vibrationally satisfied. Just like the seed that you plant in the ground has the intelligence and the life force to become what it is meant to be, every desire that you plant in the vortex is exactly the same way. So how do you go about rendezvousing with this rich harvest that is yours? You stop trying so hard, and most of all, you stop trying to please others. You become a cooperative component to your own vortex. You care about the way you feel. You reach for vibrations that are vibrations of allowing. You reach for receptive mode vibrations. You yearn for your boyfriend to come back, and you yearn for the boyfriend that's never been there to be there. And you yearn for your body to return to wellness, and you yearn for money to find its way into your bank account. And all of those things are already active and attracting in your vortex. And if you're not yet manifesting them, it's for one reason and one reason only. You are not a cooperative component to your own vortex. Period. You've got to stop sorting out all the rightnesses and the wrongnesses of the world. Is being good at math important Is it so important? Get everybody in the world together and have a debate about that and call them Democrats and Republicans. And then fight to the death. Fight to the death about whose ideas are right and whose ideas are wrong. Hold yourself apart from the bliss of life out of confusion because you've forgotten how worthy you are and how you get to choose and how you don't have to justify what you've chosen. You just have to line up with it. And so it's our desire that you hear us when we say, don't rationalize or defend or justify. Just desire and take pleasure from the sweetness of the desire. And then watch how clever the universe is in a variety of ways to surprise and delight you with endless manifestations of those desires. We got off on a rant there, a rampage of your worthiness and your rightness to live as you choose to live. And we know that you're hearing because we said it right out loud, shouted it right in your ear. You got to let other people with opinions about what you should do live with their own opinions, but don't let their opinions matter to you. There's only one opinion that is important to you, and that's the opinion of the larger part of you who stands where all things that you want are. Sometimes there's a mentor or a teacher, someone who really loves you, someone who's tuned in, tapped in, turned on, who is in sync with their own vortex, with their own inner being, and also with yours. And so when you ask what they think about something, they can speak to you from that broader view. But you'll live so much less stress and so much less confusion if you will ask for the opinions of others less and feel for the opinion, the knowing of your inner being more. We'll just give you a crash course here. Your inner being only loves, never hates. So if you're hating someone, you're not in sync with your inner being or with your vortex, and your thriving is on hold for right now.